Welcome to NP&ME. This channel is mostly going to focus on exploring national parks and national monuments, but we're also going to touch on other subjects such as general wildlife information, exploring other cool places around our world, and also subjects like today, we're going to talk about baculites. So, let's go explore. I brought with me here a couple of baculite fossils that I found already down this area. Now, baculites were a species of cephalopod that existed during the late Cretaceous, about 100 million years ago to 65 million years ago. They survived just a little bit beyond the mass extinction event that took out the dinosaurs. And they're a type of cephalopod similar to ammonites, except they had a straight shell. To get to where we're going to find these, we got to get to where there's some exposed sediment down here. First, going to take a look-see at this pronghorn sheath here. Pronghorn, pretty awesome animals. Second fastest animal, land animal that is, in the world. And they drop their sheaths, shed them every November, December, once a year usually. Take a look at a rock I've set out here before that's got a couple of baculite fossils still in it. You see that one right there? Now, baculites could get to be about 6 feet long at their biggest, but most of them are only, a foot or two in length, depending on the species. There's another one that you can see the round end of it sticking out right there. Find baculite remains in this shale, this crumbling hillside type stuff here. Sometimes they'll just crumble away from the mountain. A lot of times though, the remains, got a little bit of one there maybe, and the remains in this really crumbly stuff won't be very good condition. So we gotta get down lower where the rock is harder and those fossils have survived for a longer time and haven't been exposed to weathering as much. I also like to look down at the bottom of the hill here. Sometimes the baculites will kind of roll down the hill being cylindrical in shape. Looks like we got a raccoon coming down for some water. These are some spots along the cliff you want to look here, especially these areas where rocks and sediment has tumbled down. See if any baculites have fallen down in here. This stuff's a little light colored. A lot of the darker colored shales and rock is where you're going to find more fossils. Darker color means less oxygen got to them, so less decomposition over time increases the chance of becoming a fossil. That lighter colored stuff up there has a lot less fossils in it. Got the remains of baculite right here. Not much left of it. You can see though that it ran from at least here all the way down to here. It's been compressed by the weight of the rock and the sediment forming on top of it there. See if we can find some more easy to get at specimens. There's another smaller one right up there, and then one right here running along this way. The remains of where one was right there, right here. So some careful observation of this fossil bearing rock here. We got a lot of baculites kind of popping out at it to us. If we were to dig down in that, we're going to find some more. There's another one right here. There's one right here. Been crumbling out of the hillside. It's a pretty long one. You find them a lot of times like this where that bottom half is cracked, smashed in. Sometimes you find some Little trace pieces of them right there. And then look up the hill. There's a smaller one. You can see really good ribbing in this one. A lot of people think that ribbing is predominantly in the females. It's a really long, intact one right here. Good couple of feet long. Still stuck in the rock really well. That's a nice specimen. Actually finding quite a few of them around here in this little area. There's one with some of the rock still stuck to it. Circular part of one that's sticking down through that rock. Spot here. A couple of pretty intact ones running right here, and then one with a lot of ribbing running that way. On my way back upstream here, another little one caught my eye. So being a cephalopod, these guys would kind of look like a squid, right? They'd have some tentacles sticking out at the bigger end of the shell, and their shell would continuously taper and get smaller the further back it went. So in its prime, this one right here might have been around 3 foot maybe. There's another one that's completely filled. The scientific community isn't 100% in agreement on if these baculites, if they moved through the inland sea here in the Cretaceous period horizontally like this, right? Or if they kind of bobbed up and down vertically like this, with the tentacles hanging down. There's theories on both, and then there's also some theories that different species might have moved throughout the ocean in a different way. Consensus is that these baculites fed on zooplankton and lived kind of the middle section of the ocean, so not right up by the surface, not right down by the bottom of the ocean floor there. It's that big filled in one. You can definitely see where the shell was and where the air pockets were for this species within the shell. If you're lucky enough, you can get some that have the suture lines underneath the shell where different air chambers are filled up. Help this thing kind of stay buoyant in the ocean. Now, baculites died out about 65 million years ago. However, they do have a relative still living in the Nautilus. Sometimes the baculites are confused with Orthoceras fossils. Orthoceras fossils are much older than baculites. You see them shined up and kind of all together in a big conglomerate and sold in fossil shops. Orthoceras, though, was many million years before baculites. Here's some of today's baculite finds. Now baculites are really helpful in another way. Not only are they an awesome fossil, they also help us understand and know for amateur geologists or amateur fossil hunters that this layer of rock that it's coming from is from the Cretaceous period. They help us date these rocks.